What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Book entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father, Amazon Kindle Create Space. Military Budget Welfare. Just hear me out. The GDP is always stocked. I think the military budget is a way for um, the rich, the elite, the one percenters, you know, politicians, business owners, and white people in general to create rich welfare. The reason I say that is because the GDP, the defense budget, is just huge to the point where it's always known that they're wasting money. There's always money, billions and billions of dollars getting wasted on defense. Not to mention all of these industries who getting all these businesses who get government contracts to produce wasteful things. The irony of that is this: if you ever notice, when it comes to overspending in education or in the private sector or whatever, any type of other government spending, it always needs to be streamlined and made effective, and every dollar must be put to a good use. But for military budget, that's not the case. You know, so you got extra extras being made and being paid for all the time, which makes sense because if you're going to war, you're going to need extras, right? The problem is, this country in some ways creates war with a lot of people. So we don't think about the collateral damage and the idea that war makes money. And using that idea, you forget about all the other businesses that are not particularly in the military or getting government military contracts who benefit. What I mean by that is, okay, these pharmaceutical companies benefit. I mean, the military is gonna have their pharmaceuticals, and they're gonna need the places who wind up getting attacked and blown up and shootouts. They say don't shoot the hospitals. Well, why? Okay, because they need these hospitals, and these hospitals make money with their patients and all of the um, all of the pills and prescriptions that they do. It's not just a life-saving endeavor for doctors; it's a business. People talk about oil and gas, but who wastes the most oil and gas? The military. Jet fuel, you know, regular old gas, oil changes, like the power you need for all of these helicopters and tanks and ain't nothing running on it. This stuff ain't don't run on electricity. Like let's not get it twisted. So same thing we get to technology. GPS, uh, tracking. You remember when the cell phone was created, I think the military had it first. A lot of times they used to say, they don't say that anymore, that the military may have things 20, 30 years before the public does. So if you're an innovator and a creator of something that could be useful, 9 times out of 10, the military already using it. Not to mention the things that are in the innovative processes and creations that they haven't used yet. The scientific experiments and all that other stuff. And I'm not saying that some of this stuff isn't necessary, because some of it is. What I'm talking about is the unnecessary stuff. The pork, the overspending. And every time this country, if you notice, every time this country has a wealth gap that looks like it's closing, boom, everything shuts down. Military spending goes through the roof. White people get rich again. Gap widens, and then we start from scratch. The soldiers don't get raises like that. You know, some of the veterans who got to go to the VA, they don't get treated as well as some as these battleships and tanks and and planes and helicopters. They don't get treated as good as these guns ever. They're not put on display for the world to see like this is what saved our ass. This cat right here. It's not like that. It's just not. And at the end of the day, there's nothing that can be said about that because at some point you got to ask yourself, wow, huh, how are these people continuously getting rich? And I'm not just talking about necessarily military, but just defense. Because the Pentagon doesn't go anywhere. They got a whole lot of extra money. Think about the FBI, CIA, NSA. All of these different entities who have jobs to protect and serve, just like the police, and they got all this shit. you know. And when people get into big business, a lot of these big businesses, in some way or another, are aligned with something that has to do with the defense budget. Whether they're, first hand, second hand, third hand, fourth hand, fifth hand. And think about a lot of the stuff on Wall Street. Every time there's turmoil or something that could be happening, that's what causes the stock to go up and down. So there is no peaceful growth. No, I mean, there is no cure for anything. There is no um, countries. There isn't a world that doesn't know what famine is, or that a world that knows what peace is. And at the end of the day, all of there isn't a world that doesn't know what disease is. And at the end of the day, a lot of it has to do with the fact that the bottom line is ain't no money in it. And the defense budget, ironically, is just an offense budget because we're constantly on the offense, constantly on somebody else's airspace, land, ocean, on the cusp of fucking with them, using something, diplomacy, peacekeeping, whatever you want to call it. You can look at Halliburton, and the way people looked at John Cheney and the Bush family with their oil connections, and everybody would always say it's so blatant that in most ways you could just call it rich ass welfare. Because at the end of the day, do we actually need to spend as much as we do on defense? Do they need to increase the budget again? No. But the problem with that is, if they don't increase the budget, who's going to be able to enjoy the spoils of war? So you need war to enjoy the spoils of war. You need conflict to enjoy the currency that was created off of it. So, to me, a lot of times, military budget is welfare, because these people aren't doing anything productive for the world per se. They're just starting shit places and benefiting off of things that are getting started places and getting paid off, blood money. I mean, it is what it is, in my opinion. This could be a conspiracy theory, whatever you want to call it. It's just what I think sometimes. Peace.